This is a propane torch, and today we're gonna set a turtle on fire! Hey guys, I'm Max and welcome back to Hot Ones. So last week we talked about an awesome trio of $400 military watches, one of which was the Seiko King Turtle. Now this watch is such good value because when Seiko brought it into the Pro Specs line, they added upgrades like a sapphire crystal and a ceramic bezel. But as great as this watch is, there were just a couple of visual items that didn't quite look right to me. So today we're going to turn the heat up on this watch and give it a makeover, see if we can make it into the perfect King Turtle. Okay, so here's the watch. First, we remove the bands. This is made easy with drilled lug holes. Then, in preparation for hand removal, we set everything to the 12 o'clock position. Go ahead and take off the case back. And in order to remove the crown, you have to push down this little tab on the movement. And with that, the case separates pretty easily. We wait until the second hand gets to the 12 o'clock position, so they're all in a stack. Then I use this little plastic bag to protect the dial. So I didn't like these Seiko hands because I thought they looked kind of cartoonish. And my vision for this watch was to have hands like the Breitling Super Ocean. And the closest I could find was from DIY Watch Club. And as you can see, it has a large arrow for the hour and a sword hand for the minute. So we position the hour hand, making sure that it's pointed exactly at 12. Press that on there. Then we move to the minute hand. When you do this, you want to make sure that the hands are perfectly horizontal and double check between each step as not to have them interfere with each other. Lastly, we move to the second hand, which is a pretty delicate proposition. I've developed this toothpick trick that allows me to get the hand seated on the stem. Then we press that back on. Make sure everything is clear of interference. So the other thing I really hated about this watch was the date cyclops. Luckily, it is made of plastic, and so we apply heat to it with this torch and try to pry it off with a knife. Now you want to do this judiciously as not to crack the sapphire or melt any parts, but luckily it came off pretty easily after a few tries. We use some acetone to clear off the residue. And now we're ready to fit the movement back into the case. And from here, it's just the reverse of all the steps. Get the seal in the case back and tighten it back together. And there, I think that looks a lot cleaner than before. Okay, that was pretty nerve-wracking, and I probably should have used a smaller torch. Maybe one of those ones for pastries, but this is what I had laying around and it's what I used. But please be careful, guys, and if you set your house on fire, don't look at me. Also, let's take a second, go down and just give this video a thumbs up real quick. Also, consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already, if you want me to keep up this shenanigans. All right, now let's throw the watch on a couple of different straps and take it out for a spin. Here's the watch in all its glory. I'm honestly surprised that it survived the torch test. Now, I've seen some people do this cyclops removal with the movement still inside, and that just seems like a bad idea. Without the cyclops, we can now fully appreciate this clear, flat sapphire and that grenade dial underneath, looking like some explosive device found on the jungle floor. These angular Super Ocean hands are beveled down the center and reflect the light directionally, and I'll say they are a striking replacement for the toyish ones originally fitted. Now, I chose to retain the Seiko second hand as it has a pleasing gold color that mirrors the printing on the dial and a lollipop counterweight. The Turtle is Seiko's best-selling diver and has some deep military ties as it found its way onto the wrists of many American GIs during the Vietnam War, and was also featured in the movie Apocalypse Now, worn by Martin Sheen's character Captain Willard. It is an imposing watch and has dimensions to match at a whopping 45mm in diameter and a lug width of 22. However, on the wrist the watch wears a lot smaller. This is for two reasons. Number one, it essentially does not have lugs. The strap is attached to a notch cut out of the case. Number two, the measured width is the widest portion of the turtle shell shaped case, and the bezel is actually a more reasonable 42mm wide. This bezel stands proud of the crystal and has deeply cut grooves to make gripping confident. The ceramic insert is a nice addition and exceeds specs you'd expect at this price point. The automatic Seiko 4R15 gets the job done with features such as hacking and hand winding, and this watch has an abundant 200 meters of water resistance. This fabric strap from Aaron Bespoke does its best to soften up the look, but the watch is still no doubt a hefty beast, spoiling for a fight. Seiko's Lumibright shines impressively as always, generously applied here on big hour markers. Luckily, the lume on these new hands match the dial, looking almost original. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with the result. Not that the King Turtle really needed a lot of help, but I feel like we gave it just enough of a nudge to become the King Turtle Super Ocean. Anyways, what do you think? Also, let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are on date windows on dive watches. So thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.